achievement domniche tuolate. Connecting the dots. Tune in this Saturday, 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Come join us as we weave a tapestry and strengthen our connections. ASU Radio DBS.
Stories have been told.
It's that time again. Good morning to you wherever you are this time, whatever it is that you are doing. Bonjour. Happy Saturday. It is time for connecting the dots. We are gonna connect dots as usual. We highlight the achievements of Dominicans residing right here and those residing abroad, okay? So we are sticking to the agenda. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to another edition of Connecting the Dots on DBS Radio. A beautiful Saturday it is. Felt a cool breeze this morning, and for that I'm well pleased. So we are here. We are here, people. Come on board the CTD train. Let's just drink some water, take a little break, okay? Even before we begin. Something is happening. Thank you, we web administrator. My mic was off. What? No, man. Joke that, man. So Nigel could not tell me that. I was just saying that something has been taking me whenever I hear that theme song. So me, I said I enjoyed myself and I forget my mic is off. But anyway, it's on now. Welcome, people. Once again, I say a big thank you to Cornell Fingers Philip for giving us permission to use that track from the Interpretations compilation. And I also want to say a big thank you to Papa Creole Gordon Henderson for giving us permission to use Boomerang. That was in 2020 when we started. And for the promo for the Connected the Dots, okay? So big thanks. And so it is July 27, the last Saturday in the month. In fact, only 4 days left in July. July is not on a really race. July is on her own vibes, own race. Let me see if Nigel is around. In fact, Nigel was laughing at me because I checked in. Nigel looking at me speaking. Nothing is coming out. And Nigel sent me no message to indicate iPhone. But then it's my fault. I mean, there's a big red light. Who doesn't see that? Nigel, good morning. A big
Good
request.
morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I see you there, you chatting,
Yes, we.
I say,
Yes,
but wait, she not
Powell.
saying she not,
Yeah.
her mic's not on there.
Not my fault, Let me fix my headphones. So, Nigel, how you doing?
I'm good, my dear. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. It's another beautiful Saturday morning. So once it's Saturday, I'm good.
Yeah, well,
It's
that's
a
nice.
connection time. So good morning to all those
Okay,
connecting
I'm hearing them.
and already trying to say hi to us and to everybody else. So
Yeah.
that's always nice.
Yes. Nigel, are you sightseeing in France as you enjoy the Olympic Games? Where are you? What's happening? Did you wear the bright
Yes, well,
yellow?
I just moved from the Eiffel Tower to
Uh,
to the room so I could come and do connecting the dots.
so I
And
was
then
looking
once I'm
for
done,
you because I set up
yes,
the
once I'm done,
vibes.
I'll go back and join the team.
Okay, I was looking for you because I set up the vibes for you to do mascot duties in the
Yes,
yellow, the bright
yes.
yellow and Madras Sensi that I sent you, but I didn't see it, Nigel. So Nigel, we have to talk. Eh?
That was a security threat. It'll be too much, too much.
But I know I put too much shine on that. I
You
just knew
put too
that.
much glitter, man. It tell me security threat.
Yes, sir, boy. Yes, sir. Next time I'll do something better. I'll save it
So
down
yes,
later. It was too
next
easy.
time, send it with less glitter.
Yeah, it was too busy. But really,
Yes, it was.
best of luck to the athletes, all the athletes, but of course Dominica.
Yeah. So
We have
yes,
a game. We have Thea Gatson or Thea Lafo Gatson. What game we have?
yeah. We
We
have
have Denick. Yes, we have Denick
It's
Luke,
Denick Luke.
the
Yes,
the
yes.
son of Woody Lawrence.
Woody Lawrence, and then
Warren,
Warren, and
and
then
the daughter
the daughter of
of
Francilia Yeager.
Francilega. I think it's
What's the name
Jasmine.
now again?
Jasmine Schofield, something like
Jasmine
that.
or some
Yes,
Jasmine, I
yes,
think.
yes. Yeah, I think it's
Yes, yes,
Jasmine. I
yes.
think it's Jasmine. So a big, big up to all of them, and we wish them the best as well.
Yes, we certainly wish them all the best. As you can see, I'm already in my DOC t-shirt. So I'm representing the Olympics.
Well, they did not
I'm
give
up
me
there.
one. They did not give me one. So myself, I just dress how I want.
That's the problem there,
I did not get one.
You didn't,
Angot
DHL
ranks.
laps.
Angot
Yes,
ranks. Yeah.
DHL laps. We'll try to see if we can get that done for you before the end of of the season,
Of the
before the end of
season.
the 2 weeks.
Okay. So let's see
Yes,
what's
but
happening.
definitely, I mean, congratulations to all of them. We wish them all the best. Mr. Billy Doccho, president of the DOC. We wish you and the team, Brendan Williams, and all who are there, management team, and everybody else. We wish you all the best up there in Paris.
Yes.
Looking forward to that medal.
Yeah, man. So, Niger, we welcome a new bishop as well, and we had a ceremony that really aligns with, the teachings of the Catholic Church. So, Bishop Kendrick Forbes is the 10th bishop of the Diocese of Roseau. So, there's a grand celebration this week.
Yes, and I happen to have witnessed the mass and to welcome him and his wonderful celebration, beautiful singing. I love how we're able to incorporate our local rhythms and music into the whole celebration. So that was wonderful.
Yeah,
So
man.
welcome to him.
Okay, welcome to him for sure. But Nigel,
yes, he shall connect with us at some point.
Yes, we'll see how we can make this work. But Nigel, it is still women's time, eh? The first female Kalinago Chief in modern history enjoyed a very comfortable victory.
This week was just
she's joining us via Zoom this morning. So,
or you just take everything with us.
Yes. So I think she polled 697 votes, something like that, or 58.28% of the votes counted. And
nice.
that's just Nigel. It's really huge for women. Also, the president of Dominica, who is also a woman, delivered her inaugural speech to the parliament. So that was an achievement.
Marva Williams, representing the Kalinago territory.
That is it. Marva Williams has been appointed CEO, Chief Executive Officer of the Discover Dominica Authority. And so women continue to break the glass ceiling. I mean, we can go further afield as well. We can go further afield and speak of Kamala Harris, Vice President of the U.S. So this week in particular,
particularly the president. So yes, so this is so I think women have a lot to celebrate this week,
Yeah, man.
They definitely have to celebrate. Let me say good morning to you, Marva, my dear friend. Congratulations on that. Well deserved. I know you'll do great things out there at Discover Dominica Authority. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, man.
To all the other women who was breaking ceilings this week, man. Yes. But we stand beside you guys, We stand beside you. We stand behind you. No, not behind you. No, we're standing beside you.
Beside us. Of
Yes.
course, Nigel. Yes, stay there, just stay there, That social barrier which was preventing women from being promoted to top jobs in management has been broken. So it's no longer.
It has.
Yeah,
It has.
for a while now, obviously, but in recent times we are seeing more of this.
Yeah, and I think what's happening is because the women themselves have become more empowered to speak about stuff and to have opinions on certain things, which probably they always had, but were probably not given the platform.
Mm-hmm.
So that platform is there, and they're making use of the platform.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we appreciate that because once you have the strength of the woman there, the rest will follow. So we appreciate that as men.
Mm-hmm. You know that all too well, Nigel. So let me thank you for
yes,
saying those things about us. So merci beaucoup.
On behalf of all the men, you're welcome.
Yeah. Also, Nigel, the Golden Drum Awards ceremony is on this evening.
Tonight,
yes,
right?
Yes. Dominica's highest cultural award. And, we always look forward to this. There's also special recognition awards to be presented this evening. There's a concert as well. So big things for culture.
Big things. So congratulations to all the awardees and those who will be receiving the special recognition as well. Congratulations to them for keeping the culture alive. So make sure you guys can, tune into that. I think it's from 8 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah.
So make sure you tune in tonight to support the cultural division and all those who continue to make sure they can keep the flames burning.
That's it.
That's important.
Yeah, that is important. Nigel, on a somber note though, Arthur Smith, the former General Secretary and the President of I think it was then CSA, right, when he was there.
Yes, it was CSA there.
Yeah, so he was a union stalwart, really, and we just express our sympathies to his family on his passing. Not my fault, Nigel. I did everything there one time, So.
Yeah, but that's the whole idea. That's how we connect. You're connecting everything. Everything. Yes,
everything.
Yes.
Big
so
conversation.
Definitely so. Condolences to the family. Hold strong. Arthur has been a stalwart. And I know our dear friend Alvin Thomas, who was of course part of that process.
Yes.
Would have had his share of things that he would have said. So. Yes.
Yeah. I think he was I think he also served as labor commissioner before he retired from the public service. So, he really contributed immensely to the development of
yes. Arthur has made his contribution as a teacher as well, he taught at the Rosa Boys School for quite a while too. So both in education and in terms of, trade unionism, he's made his mark. So the lost, and we hope his family can continue to hold on to those great memories.
Yeah, definitely. So, Nigel, what's happening on the book? Anybody on already?
Well, I don't know what happened. It looks like people get a memo early because the book is very, very busy, and they were all early this morning.
Okay.
So I don't know what's going on, but Winnie Green, good morning to you. Carl Kofi James, good morning. Of course, Kofi is on his last couple of days, so he's enjoying his last lap.
I think he's leaving today.
Yes. Shills Jules, good morning to you as well. Jacinta Banis, as always, good morning. Let's see, Jean Sharpless, good morning. Rosalind Severin McLean, good morning. Julie Joe, good morning. Who else is on there? Let's see. Hey, Regina, good morning. Yes, my shit from early, good morning to you as well. Elbert Greenaway, good morning. Saying hello to all the CTD family. My dear friend Lauren Banis Roberts, good morning to you. Edwina London, good morning. Randy Turney, Terry and Olivache Marie says good morning to everybody as well. So it's busy. Alicia Griffith, good morning to you. Busy book. Keep it going. Keep the conversation going as always. Crispin Schilling for good morning as well. So it's been a busy time for so far. Hey, Carol, good morning to you. Elias, good morning to you. Everybody else, good morning. Liz, good morning. Thanks for connecting.
Thanks for connecting. Yes, Nigel. So a lot of people on. Welcome. Nigel, we have Dominica Corner now before we welcome our guests. Let me just make sure everything is in place. Do we have
what we can do for Dominica Corner? Dominica Corner. What you can do?
Okay.
I'm gonna put you on the spot. Dominica Corner.
I'm gonna put you on the spot first.
She put me on the spot first.
Because it's keeping in line with the program today.
Go first.
So, what is the Kalinago word for thank you?
We can't be messy.
How are we doing?
Hey, Papa. Chief Anette help me there. But anyway, what is the Kalinago word for thank you? I know my breaker is welcome. Um,
Ayohora.
Hey, you see, I know I have support, Ayohora. I know I have that. Thank you, Ayohora.
Yes,
Yeah, I
sir,
know I
boy.
have
Yes, sir,
support.
boy. No, that. But anyway, okay. Please
They
let
get
that
you.
Nigel. What is the Kalinago word for important?
For what?
Important. Important. The word important.
The word
So,
important.
how do you say important in
Mostly I go
Kalinago?
then ask my Facebook people. All your face my book help me out there. What is the Kalinago word for important? Please somebody tell me. Tell if you know. Tell if Charles, good morning to you. Eddie John Baptist, good morning. Glenda Shillingford. None of you helping me.
Important. Okay. Ready, voice
Hold on.
again. Come,
I have a
voice.
hold on. I
Tell
have a
us,
Kalinago
voice.
thing there. Kissa,
The voice that gave you the first one. Here's the voice for important.
just the voice. Voice help me. Voice is from St. Joe. Chief Annette, what is important? What is the Kalinago word for important? If you can help me, let me see. Somebody help me there. Let me see. Nigel, you have all your
It starts
strength.
with
Not
a
that I.
T. It starts with the letter T. It ends with the letter I. So I know that because obviously every morning we have Kalinago word for the day,
Yes, I
and I
know,
register
and
these
I'm
things in my
trying to
head.
remember that one.
So
T-
it's Timawati. I think Timawati. I hope I have the
is it
pronunciation correct.
Tilawati or
Tima
Timamati? It's one
Timawati.
of them,
Timawati. Uh, um.
Yes, I know we have the Kalinago word of
Yeah.
prosper.
Yes.
Is it Okay, they're gonna ask somebody. Tell me they're gonna ask Hazari for me.
Oh, I was just about to say, Vesaikolas.
They let me know in a while.
I was just
Hazari,
about
good
to say
morning
that.
to you.
Yes, yes. Okay, one
Oh,
more.
it's okay. Tahiti, Tallahassee.
Tallahassee. I thought it was Timawati. So I'm wrong?
No, you're probably right. They haven't told me the correct thing on the book yet. So Hazari will let us know.
Yes, yeah, because I tell you, the man really, boy, Hazari, boy, he big on that. Okay, okay. So how do you say "I am good" in Kalinago language? I am good. Yeah, I am good.
She doing that to me today.
Yeah, the voice
I
now.
am good.
I am good. That one is easy, easy peasy lemon squeezy.
I am good. I am good. Hold on, I come in just now. All of you just saying good morning. None of you helping me. Jokam, can you help me? No.
I am good. What is it again? I asked you the question. I can't remember. Somebody send me a WhatsApp message there quickly now.
I am
Boy, so
good.
I can tell Nigel I know that. Oh, the voice come. Because I answered you. I tell you sure.
I am
So
good.
um um
Um, um,
Irufutina, something like that. Irufutina. Yeah,
uh,
Irufutina.
Erefutina. Okay, if you
Irufutina.
say that.
She'll tell us when she comes on. I tell her she can put on the mic, you don't answer. So go ahead, tell us, is it Irufutina? Anyway, well, I think it's that. Yes, sir.
Something like that.
Well, whatever
Okay.
it's as I did this morning.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I have to start writing them down in the
yes,
mornings
yes, yeah.
when we have the Kalinago word of the day.
I tell you, man.
Yes.
So things like I think Kashima. You know what is Kashima, right?
So
That fruit.
hold on. I think hold on. I think I get in a message saying let me see. Our guest saying they're having difficulty. Hold on.
I was speaking to a while ago.
And then I'm having difficulty with audio on the computer, so
Oh
I
my
will
goodness.
use both gadgets. Okay.
She's okay, no,
All
or
right.
what?
Yes. She's having a little difficulty with her audio, but she's gonna see how she can have that rectified, so
Okay.
she can use both.
Yeah, because we really want to hear her loud and clear.
Oh, very loud and clear.
Yes, I hope
Yes.
there's no connectivity issue. Okay, so let's see. Okay, Nigel, let's pray and bring her on. I think she's on now, so let's pray. I'm seeing her, so let's
You,
pray
you
and.
have you have you have the prayer close by. For this morning, I didn't get mine. Let me
You
see. Hold on.
serious? Boy, we need to be
I
more
always
prepared.
have it there.
Someone
As
need
you
to give
say
us
that
a. Someone need to give us a serious warning
we have a
because
suggestion on the prayer thing, so we have to work on
Okay,
that.
yes, I know.
Yes.
Someone need to give us a
Yes.
serious warning. We need to have this close always,
Yes.
always. Where is it?
Detention for the both of us.
Okay, I got it. So I win.
Yeah.
That's usual. All right. So pray for connecting the dots, Heavenly Father, Creator of mankind and the universe. We thank Thee for the gift of life today and all the blessings You continue to bestow on Your children. We seek Your presence and intervention throughout this program, and we ask that You keep us connected always. We also pray for the success of the program, its hosts, coordinators, and listeners, that they may find purpose and enjoy what they share. Bless our radio station and the nation, and may we grow to love and unite with each other, irrespective of our differences. All this we ask in your name, now and forever. Amen.
Amen.
All right.
Amen. 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 Bless
So,
you.
yes. So, Nigel, I had that song and I was looking for it. I just could not find it. You know, Mabrika, Mabrika, how are you? You know that song? From the
Oh
X
yes, I
Band?
know that song. I know
That
that
was one of
song.
the
Yeah.
biggest songs coming from the territory. Anyway, but how do we welcome our guest, Nigel? Do you have the shack close by, the one I sent you from the flamboyant tree?
No, but
Yes.
but you see, I went to the Kalinago territory and make sure I got my, my,
Nigel.
see, that's from my ancestors. So I made sure I have that, So,
Flaunt
but
it in my
I
face.
didn't get the shack.
Yeah,
So,
flaunt it in my face. It's all right.
so we shall, yeah, but you didn't get the memo, man.
All right.
But we shall welcome,
Okay, well,
we shall welcome her the best way we
yeah.
can.
She has a lot to say. She's a person of many words. One thing, she's not, laconic when it comes to words. So,
Yes.
so I like that.
Yeah, me
But
parley.
yeah,
Okay.
like me. So that's good. Yes, yeah. So it's really
Good
a
morning,
pleasure.
good morning, Mabrika. Good morning to you, Chief Anette Sanford. It's a pleasure having you on Connecting the Dots and connecting with us. This is where we learn about your journey.
Yes.
We hear you share your journey with us and everything else. So good morning again. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. How are you doing?
Mabrika,
Yes, sir.
I am doing well.
That's it.
Atikai Tarigi, which means I am doing well. And it's really a pleasure to be with you all here on DBS Radio this morning. I am looking forward to the discussion. And good morning to all your listeners in Dominica and to all the listeners abroad. Thank you for joining us today.
So, Nigel, we have heard in Parliament, we have heard in public spaces, we have heard, speaking on matters of national importance and much more. But I was just thinking, how do we also unearth the side of Anette Sanford? Where does the strength of the Kalinago woman lie? I really want to find that out. But Nigel, it's your take. So
we will find that out. We will find that out. We'll find out the journey from childhood to where she is now. So we want to share that journey because oftentimes we always say the glory, we don't know the story, kind of a thing. So we want to make sure we get the story as well. Yeah. So let's take it back a little bit, and if it's okay, we call you Annette this morning. I hope that's fine with you.
Sure, no problem.
Beautiful. So let's take it back before you
even go on, Nigel. How should we refer to the female Kalinago chief? Is just Madam Chief, or is it, I was listening to the outside broadcast.
Yes,
I think
chieftain.
Something like that. But how do we refer to the Kalinago chief, the female chief?
It's the same.
Okay.
It's the office stays the same, so it's chief. I know some people want to say chiefess, but
yeah, something like
the
that. I
office
heard.
is Kalinago Chief and it stays as is.
Okay, all right. Okay. So yes, Nigel.
All right.
Let's move on.
All right, the Kalinago Chief. So before we got to Kalinago Chief, and there must have been beginning. So tell us a little bit about that beginning in terms of what part of the Kalinago territory are you from, and the school that you went to, primary school, preschool. So we want to take it all the way back. So what part of the Kalinago territory are you from?
I was born and raised in Sinico. That is the first community you meet when you're coming from Castle Bruce. And I went to the Sinico primary school. I didn't go to any preschool. I just went straight to primary school.
Are there preschools in the Kalinago territory?
Well, at the time, we didn't have. If we had to go to a preschool, we would have to travel maybe all the way to, I think, Crayfish River or Batata.
Okay.
And it was quite a distance. So I guess that's why parents really didn't send the children to preschool. But I did go to primary school. I did very well in terms of keeping in tune with my academics. I tried to be on top of my subjects, my grades. Well, for us in the territory, back then, getting a pass was like getting a scholarship. So whilst other students in Roseau was like saying, hooray, we get scholarships, but we in the Kalinago territory were like, hooray, we got a pass, because it was so difficult to get students to pass the exam. And I did pass the exam. There were two of us then who passed. That was Asha Burton and myself. And we were always the top students in that class at the primary school level. So we passed and we moved on to the Northeastern. Well, they have the Northeastern now, but it was the St. Andrews High School. And yeah. So
All
I
right.
went on.
Wait. Ivana don't like you to go too fast.
Yes,
So,
yes.
so before we get to the high
There's a
school, let's
process
go
that
back
we
a
have
little
to
bit
follow,
to
yes.
Seneca Primary. Just give us generally what was it like in Seneca Primary? Were you troublesome? Were you involved in sports then at the primary school, or were you just quiet to learn it?
I like that.
I would say there was a mix. I was troublesome when I had to, but I took my work seriously when I had to. I remember climbing, the hills, trying to get fat pox whenever we going home. Playing sports, of course. I was very good at athletics, so I did a lot of competition with our schools, rounders during that time. I remember captaining a rounders team, and for that year that I was the captain, we won basically all our games in all the competition. So that was a good year for me. And then, of course, most of the races, I was very good at running, athletics, so I raced. But then when I get into the secondary school, I reduced on my involvement with sports a bit.
But let's still go back a little. We'll come to the secondary school in a short while. In terms of did you have a large family, a lot of siblings? How were you raised?
I have a very large family. My dad was very productive. So
He was busy.
I have 8 brothers and 8 siblings with my mom. My dad had 8 siblings with my mom, and then I have another 8 siblings with my stepmother. My dad has 8 additional siblings, and of course we have about 4 or 5 more siblings with on the outside.
And then I thought my father was busy, man, Nigel.
Yes.
Maybe he was busy, yeah, but
yes.
And then we still stay connected,
That's good,
Now
that's good.
we all speak very well. We connect with each other. So, yes.
What was the community life like in the Kalinago territory? Give us an idea of this, because obviously, I mean, history class at secondary school taught me that the Kalinago women, they were responsible for bearing and raising the children. They planted and they gathered the fruits and vegetables and things like that. But you grew up in that setting. Tell us how it was for you. What was happening?
Growing up was very challenging. Looking back, I mean, we still now we do have a lot of I wouldn't say poverty, but we are struggling economically. For us, I remember like waking up, maybe not having a proper breakfast to go to school. There were times when I had to walk to school without any shoes on my feet, but I enjoyed school because I saw it as a way out. I saw education as a way out of getting a good life, getting a good family, and just creating something different for the environment and for people around me. So I really took it seriously, but it was very, very challenging. And then for others around me, it was even more challenging because my dad was very hardworking. He was the person who always went to the garden. He was involved in doing his bananas. Even to this day, he's almost 80 and he's still producing bananas to sell. So I came from, my dad was a strength because my mom died when I was about 7. So we grew up with our father, and he had to really push to ensure that we had the basic needs for us to go to school, even if we didn't have everything. But he tried his best to ensure that we had enough to get us through the day. Sometimes he would come home late. I remember him making what was at the time my favorite. He would stew some chicken and we'd eat it with bread and some juice. And I really enjoyed that part. But he was a hard worker, and he really encouraged us and pushed us to take our school seriously. So we had limitations as to what we could do in the community, staying out late. There was a limit to the time we should come back home and all of these things. So that kind of structure at home kind of guide us as well into helping us to remain focused on all of that.
Nice, nice. I like that strength for the family and the foundation that's been built. For those who may not know, what's your dad's name?
His name is Fingal Thomas.
All right. So you were Thomas before you became a Sanford.
Yes, yes.
All right. Just because I know everybody knows you as Anette Sanford.
Sanford, yes. Yeah, that's true, Nigel.
Yes, Sanford is from my husband.
Yeah.
After we married,
Yes. And let me say good morning to your dear husband as well, Claudius. Good morning to you, my friend.
Sure.
So in terms of so when you grew up back then in Seneca Primary, were there like electricity and everything in the Kalinago territory at that time? Was it something that came after?
we had electricity. I remember we had electricity, but we had no water. So we had to travel to the river to take our baths. And for us, waking up like sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning to have a bath, because we had to take a bus to go to, well, that's at secondary school, take a bus to go to secondary school. But we had to wake up really early every morning, carry a pail of water back home to help get water in the household, and then get ready for school. So that was a challenge back then for us, the water. But we had electricity. Also, we had like no libraries. So most of the work that we did was on our own. And if you didn't have any textbooks, and most of the time, most of us didn't have any textbooks. So we just depended on what the teacher had to teach us. So Mr. Grano was my teacher in grade 7. And I think he really helped. He went
when you say Mr. Grano, the former parliamentarian?
Yes, Ashton Grano.
Okay.
He taught me at grade 7. Yes, and he ensured that he would stay back, do extra lessons with us, to ensure that we at least succeed. And the not having a library was a big problem for us.
I can imagine, because of course not having the information there, and you had to go there. So that takes us to secondary school.
But how far, even before you go to secondary school, Nigel, I wanted to find out, how far did you have to walk to school? Was it a long walk to go to school in primary school?
It was a 20 minutes walk. And we had to, we walked in the morning, then we had to come back home for lunch, and then walk back to school for the afternoon session. So we walked to school in the morning, back home in the afternoon for lunch, then back again to get the afternoon session, and then back home. So that was like 4 times for the day.
Okay.
Wow.
20 minutes walk. Yeah.
Yeah. So Nigel, we can go now to, there's so much.
Yes.
So we can go to
the secondary school now. Before we do that, I think somebody's saying just bring your camera down a little so they can see more of you. Beautiful.
Okay, I should have said that. I mean, a woman should have the eye for this. I love this.
They wanted to see. They wanted to make sure they could see all the, the lovely regalia that you have as a chief. So secondary school, St. Andrews High School. You had to take a bus, I guess, from the Kalinago territory to St. Andrews. Was that daily?
Yes, we had to take a bus every day. And I remember bus drivers like Mr. Francis Ogis, who took us to school in the morning, and then he would pick us up about 1, 2 o'clock after school and take us back home. And there were times when there were issues with the bus, and we had to walk from the St. Andrews High School to our homes. And, some of us actually walked the entire way, because sometimes you stop the buses and they don't stop because you're a child, and I guess we don't have a lot of money to pay them, or sometimes we had no money to pay. So we had to walk home sometimes. I can remember that clearly.
And that's like about what, an hour more?
That's maybe about 2.5 hours.
Wow.
2.5 hours of walking.
And you did that for 5 years?
All the way to the
Well, I guess you would have improved towards the end, but you did it relatively for 5 years? Because of 5 years.
Yes, off and on for that 5-year period. Now it's much better, I guess, with the current system. The children, the buses are more reliable now, and then we have more buses. So if one has an issue, then the bus driver can easily contact somebody else to fall in. But before, there were limited buses. So
okay, all right. I want to ask you a question. It's not really on secondary school. We can go back to that, of course, but I don't want to forget it, because I was just thinking, you are very well spoken, very well spoken. At what time in your life did you realize that you came from a very important community, but that's a territory, but that same space was being sometimes ridiculed? You hear maybe a lot of negative things. At what time did it hit you that all this was happening? You came from the Kalinago territory, indigenous people, first people, all of that we are hearing, but still, there was, some challenges in terms of what you were hearing on the negative side. Give us a feel of this.
I cannot remember the exact year and date, but I remember walking to school about, let me see, I was about in grade 6. In grade 6, walking to school, and whilst I was going to school, there was a vehicle passing by, and somebody shouted, something happened, and then I don't know what happened, but maybe one of the other children walking with me said something, and that individual turned and said, Kwaib Sot. At that time, it just, I cannot describe the feeling. It was hurtful, but it made me realize that we had a lot to do. So at that point in time, I just said, you know what, we are going to go to school, we're going to do our best, and we're going to try to be different, make a difference in our community.
That's what I wanted, Nigel. I like that. That's one of the reasons I asked that question, because I wanted to find out if that really happened to her.
Yes.
What did it do to her? And you see, it empowered her more to do more for her community. So I like that.
And sometimes you find when people say certain things that are negative, it could either empower you, give you that that force to move on, or you could feel so hurt that you just kind of cower and hide yourself and never, move on. So I love that. I love that, Annette. So at St. Andrews High School, just tell us what was the experience like there for you.
St. Andrews High School was, I would say, different from what I experienced at the primary school, and maybe I would think that I had kind of a culture shock, because you get to meet so many different children, and then you get to see that they are so much advanced, like in their education, and I remember there was a particular young lady that inspired me. I think she's a doctor now, Anita Davis. She was in my class, maybe about 4th form and 5th form, but she was very studious, and she always took her work seriously, and she kind of inspired me to, despite of my challenges, to be focused. But it also showed that at the time, there were some children who had the support from their families, because you could clearly see that her family was providing very well for her. And it kind of made me think that one day, if I have children, I would want to do the same, And yes, otherwise, it was the usual sports. The teachers were very, very, very nice to me. I remember Mr. Burkell Williams. These were teachers that really stood out to me, because he was always a cheerful person, but he was also kind of spiritual. Okay. So he kind of gave us additional guidance to stay focused, to do what we have to do. And Mr. Burnett, a very, very jovial man. He always cracked a lot of jokes. Whenever he come to class, you always felt as if you were enjoying the class. Mr. Gordon, these teachers, really inspired me and really helped me to focus with my work.
And did you continue with sports and so as you were at St. Andrews?
No, it was kind of difficult because of the transportation difficulty I told you. So most of the time after high school, we would just be focused on getting home. So that kind of made it very difficult for me to focus on anything else. We just wanted to get home safe, and sometimes we get home like 6 o'clock in the evening. So, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Were you part of a debating club at school, or were you involved in any extracurricular activities? Of course, you had to go back to the territory, as you said. But were you part of any club, any debating club in particular?
No. Okay. I wasn't part. I was a very quiet individual. I speak only when I had to speak. I did my work very well, but I only spoke when I had to. I was very, very quiet. I only started being a little more open when I got into the nursing career, because at that time we had to do presentations, we had to be a little more expressive, we had to speak to people.
Okay.
So during my nursing career, I get to express myself a little more.
All right. So Nigeria, we can leave high school because there's so much here to talk about
Well, actually,
politics.
just before we leave high school,
Sure,
because you said
sure.
something earlier, Ivona, in terms of what, you know, in the history books, what you saw in the history books about the Kalinago
Yeah.
people and so on. So I'm kind of interested for you, Annette, when you were doing history at St. Andrews, and there are certain things written in the history book about the Kalinago
Well,
people.
Nigel, you good. That's
How
it.
did you
That's
kind
it,
of
Nigel.
react, you know, to that?
That's it.
Well, I didn't do history as a subject, but we did social studies, which kind of had some of the historical background of the indigenous people. There are some things that we didn't agree, like indigenous people were cannibals. I never agree with it. But at the time, I guess we were more concerned with passing our subjects, so we didn't really take it on. Towards more of my adult career, for example, I know one of our children actually took it up at school. That was my husband's daughter, Anette Sanford. She challenged one of her tutors with it. There was a particular question that they were asking about. Well, they had to answer, and when she gave the response, they were not satisfied with it, and she challenged them, and they were having issues with giving her the grade. But you know, she stood her ground and she explained, and then the teacher had to at least understand where she was coming from.
Right.
But in secondary school, I was just concerned of completing my subjects, getting good grades, and just moving on, as opposed to anything at the time.
And I know we'll probably come to that later on as a chief, but since we're talking about it, is that something now as a chief you want to kind of change in terms of what's in there in our history books and what people thought about the indigenous people? Is that part of your...
Definitely. Even before I was chief, that's something that's a conversation that we started already. And I know that there are other people who are also eager to set aside, you know, all these myths and all these
right the wrong
these kinds of thinking about the indigenous people. People like my husband, Mr. Frederick himself, Wesley Frederick, and there are other professionals in the Kalinago territory who would be willing, you know, to work with me to ensure that we at least change the narrative and we put the true story and the reality of who we really are out there.
I like that. I remember that book, Niger. Was it Arawaks to Africans? Something like
yes,
that.
Yes,
and
yes.
You know, so they told us that like the Kalinago people, you know, Caribs, we used to say back then, you know, until it changed obviously. And later on I want to talk to you about that as well in terms of the way moving forward. So the book would tell us that they planted, you know, and gathered, that's women in particular, they gathered the fruits, they gathered the vegetables, you know, and they weave clothes out of cotton and things like that, and women would prepare and serve the food, though they were not allowed to eat with their husbands. So I remember that well. So all those things, but we can talk about that later as well in terms of your position now.
And we'll talk about that. You know? So St. Andrews High School, as we're moving on the journey, we started from Siniku, we went to St. Andrews, had to take the bus sometimes, had to walk 2.5 hours to get there.
Wow.
And I'm going to say all that because I know when we get to that point, I'm thinking a lot of times, you know, we go through those things not realizing it's building us and it's setting the foundation for what we're going to be eventually. So we'll talk about that. So once you left St. Andrews High School, because we have so much to cover. Once you left St. Andrews High School, went to nursing school, or what was the next part of the journey?
Yes, I started nursing school. Well, I worked about a year before I went into nursing school. I worked at the Temple Primary School as a teacher. So I worked for a year, and then I applied to the nursing, and when I got accepted, I moved into nursing.
But what for you was the highlights of your teaching career? It wasn't long years, but you were there.
Well, I taught the grade 3 class. These were children. It was I was happy. I was happy because it gave me an opportunity to earn money, but even more to interact with the little ones, because the Temple Prime, the school had a vested interest in ensuring that the children not only had the academics, but they had that spiritual aspect to them. And at that time, I was very much engaged with the church. doing a lot of activities, even lay preaching in the church as well. So that kind of gave me joy, and I really enjoyed that moment at the school.
Were
Nice,
you
nice.
part of any youth group, even whilst you were at secondary school?
I was part of a youth group, but it was more to do with my church,
Okay.
and it was based at the Siniku community. So it was called the Inspirators, the Youth Inspirators at the time. We did a lot of entertainment activities, bring people together. We would entertain them with plays, singing, dance, but it was focused more on the spiritual aspect,
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yes, Nigel. Interesting.
Very interesting, man.
Let me just
Nursing
say,
school, what?
if people are just tuning in or just viewing, listening to the radio as well, we are speaking with the Kalinago Chief, Anette Sanford, our guest this morning. Yes, Nigel.
Wonderful. What got you interested in nursing? Is that something you always wanted to do, or it just came by accident?
No, it's something I always wanted to do. Well, maybe not exactly nursing. My primary goal was wanting to be a doctor.
Okay.
But then it didn't work out that way. I got the application for nursing first, and I just thought that maybe it would be a stepping stone to get into medicine. So I went in. I was motivated to get into the medical field because of my mom. When she died from a stroke. And I just thought that at the time, the way the Kalinago territory is, we still have challenges in our healthcare system, as you know. When she died, we were at a river having a bath, and she just fell.
Wow.
She fell, and there were some men close by who were doing some bananas. And actually, I was the one who saw her fall. And I went and I held her head above the water, and I called out to the guys, and then my sisters realized what was happening. We called other people, they came, and it took about 1 hour and more for the ambulance to show up.
Wow.
So I just thought, at that time, I really wanted to get into the medical field to see how we could not change, but improve the healthcare system within the territory. At one point in time, at one point in my life, that was something I really wanted to work on.
And so you for the medical field was probably the opportunity you could get to make a change, and so on. All right.
Yes.
And then at nursing school, what was it like for you at nursing school? I mean, it must have been tough in terms of, were there times when you were saying, I'm going to continue doing this for my mom? Or was it like, I'm going to give up, or I have to keep doing this? What was it like for you at nursing school?
Nursing school was very challenging. It was hard in terms of having to stay away from home because we had to live on campus at the dormitory. So we were off away from family, and the courses were very hard. You had to study, you had to stay up, and you had to do additional work. But being on campus, on the hospital ground, it gave us leverage because in the evening we could walk around, interact with the other nurses, get to learn, get to observe what they were doing. And I really enjoyed it. I got to love what I did, and I got to enjoy nursing. There were tutors who really stood out, like Nurse Francis. She's not here now. She migrated back to England. Nurse Paul, Nurse Ferrara, she too has migrated. And of course, Mrs. Edwards, who led the nursing school at the time, and now she is at All Saints. But we still have a very good relationship. We still connect. And yes, nursing school it was something different. It helped me to grow. Like I said, it really allowed me to open up and be more expressive because we had to do presentations. We had to go out and speak to people, and it also enhanced that caring aspect of me. I really saw how people suffered, how people, families can neglect their loved ones, and sometimes they have no one, at the hospital. So we, the nurse, had to be the family for the patient. And yes, it was a really touching and learning experience for me at nursing school. Yeah.
I'm trying to separate, Nurse Sanford from Chief Sanford. Trying to see, eventually we'll get then that separation, And then before Chief Sanford, we had parliamentarian Senator Sanford. You've had a good journey, man. So we'll
Quite a
talk
bit.
about that.
And
We'll
we
talk
want to get
about
a
that.
feel of everything that you have been involved in.
Yes, definitely. So from nursing school, of course, how long did you remain as an active nurse?
I worked for about 13 years as a nurse, as a registered nurse. And at the time when we graduated, we got our appointment pretty early. So within about 6 months or so, we got our appointment. We were appointed as staff nurses. So that was really good. And I
And you
went
were
on.
and you were at PMH. You were, well, we say PMH, but we know it's changed that Dominica China friendship. But you were stationed there, right?
I was rotated around a bit.
Okay.
I served at the Salibi Health Center for a bit, well, the Castlebrooks district. I also served at the Marigot district for a little while. And then I spent most of my time, though, at the hospital, station to Imri Ward and to my latter days at the Alford Ward. But, even now, I still work as a clinical instructor, so I'm still at the hospital. I'm helping the nursing students.
So what you stayed 13 years, right? As a nurse, as
a registered
as a
nurse,
registered
yes.
nurse. What was the hallmark then of the nursing service? I mean, it should always remain, but I'm asking that question in light of recent things that we are hearing. But when you were there, what did you see? What was the hallmark of that profession?
I believe nurses tend to be a little more caring. Nurses were caring. I think we had quite a bit of competent nurses before. And looking at the situation now, I believe a lot of people are getting into the profession because it's so easy to get the job, and it is something that is in need. It's a profession that is in need in the country. So anyone who go into nursing will definitely get a job. But back then, I see people doing it because they had that love for people. They had that love for giving back to community, and that I believe made the difference between now and then.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you worked at the Salibia Health Center for some time. I mean, going back there, did you feel like you were going back to contribute to your community at the time?
Yes. I tried to get engaged in a lot of the activities that were going on. We had walks, we had different engagements, and it was really nice working with Nurse Joseph and the Castlebrooks team, and just meeting the people, interacting with them, reaching out to them, having that bond with the people. I really enjoyed it.
Wonderful. Everyone, I'm pretty sure the phone lines are going to go crazy, right? So
Yes.
I guess we can take one or two calls later on in between.
I saw a lot of calls coming.
Whenever you feel like.
Yeah, okay. So we can do that. What is happening on the book, Nigel? Are people saying anything,
Well,
asking
I mean, the
questions
book,
as normal?
I think the book is going the craziest I've seen it so far. Helena Thomas says, following from Martinique, congratulations to our chief. What's this one? Jenny Walsh Douglas says, congratulations. Cleona Peters, congratulations. Annette, I'm so proud of you. Also of your success. I've seen you growing from student nurse to now chief. Hey, Deborah Coffey, good morning to you. Patricia Gary Inglis. Hey, good morning, Miss Inglis. Good morning to you. She says, Woman Time. Congratulations. Continue to be a role model to your community. Who's this? Clarine Frederick Bell. She's listening from London. And she says, good afternoon to everyone. Jokam, of course, says, Kalinago's all the way. Leona Joseph, two great women from the Kalinago, Madam President, and you, Mrs. Kalinago Chief. Congratulations to you both. Marston Edwards says, Mr. Burnett. Oh, you remember Mr. Burnett at school? Smiley. Always had a smile.
Yeah.
Great teacher like so many of the others. So, yes, I mean, Mr. Ainsworth Irish, good morning to you as well. Says he agrees that a driving force and success for Kalinago people and fight for women. Marietta Gordon, good morning. She says, congratulations, Mrs. Sanford from Concord Green Valley with love. So lots of congratulations there, Beryl Esprit. Ivona, she said when the bus had issues. Oh, I guess that's when you were talking
Oh,
about
that's early
sometimes you
on.
couldn't get the
Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay.
So yes, it's a lot of conversation going on, and of course, as always, people are having their own conversations in between, answering each other. So this
Okay.
one says, Leona says, Ivona, your program is so interesting. It gives me the energy to do multiple home chores at a time.
It's
So
our
thank
program. It's
you.
our program. It's yours as well. Eh? It's our program.
Yes,
So
well,
not mine.
yes,
It's ours.
it's inside
Yeah.
you. She
It's
say,
ours.
Ivona, Macaroni side
Yeah. Yeah,
you.
all
She
right.
says,
Yes.
Leona is our program, yours too.
Our program.
Uh,
Yes, too. Of course.
so congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. That's rolling through, and I'm pretty sure you've been
Yeah.
getting a lot of that for the week so far.
Yes.
So you are currently, you said, clinical instructor, or
Yes, I
yes,
am. Yes, I
okay.
am.
But prior to that, of course, you had another life. So let me ask you this, Duane, because you said you were quiet, and then when you went to nursing school, you started finding your voice. But now you have a voice, we. So what is
It
it
was
that
always
caused
there. It
that?
was always there.
She have a voice
It
now. She
was
talks
always
about
there.
it. So what is it that caused that voice in Anette to say, you know what, it's time?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
during
first you
my
had the fact they called
well,
you. There was a thing about quiet, something that inspired you back then. But
yes.
what else happened between that time that said to you, Annette, you need to find a voice and start to use it?
So when I came back, well, in 2018, 2017, I left and I went to study in Canada. I
That
did
was the year of
healthcare
Hurricane Maria.
administration.
Okay.
Yes. And when I came back, I started this healthcare program. I initiated this healthcare program to train young women within the territory to care for the elderly. So we had 18 of them. And then during that time, I liaised with the infirmary, I liaised with other homes across Dominica to see if they could get some form of experience whilst they train.
Did you have an
And
organization behind you doing all of this? Because I'm sure it would have taken some of your financial resources. Was there a
no,
group?
well,
You
for
did
this
this on your own?
program, no, this program came before I started my organization. That was in 2017. This program I started, and the participants had to pay some funds.
Okay, all right.
Well, I know it was they couldn't afford a lot,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
made it reasonable so that they could pay for it. And we trained 18 of them. But during that time, one of the challenges I had was reaching out to the hospital to see how they could get some acute care setting experience. And I remember struggling. I tried to have meetings with the permanent secretary at the time. I tried to meet the Minister of Health, and it was just so difficult to have them to agree. And I just thought, if I had the opportunity, I would try to find ways in which we could do things differently. And when the Kalinago Chief elections came up, I decided that I would put myself forward to be a candidate and to create positive change for the Kalinago people.
Okay.
But of course, prior to
Yeah,
that,
we have to go. Yeah, I was just about to say that. There are certain things I think
prior to
we
that,
missed. There are
because
some
again, you
blanks you
had a
still want
voice.
to fill in before
Yes,
before
so
that,
yes.
that
Prior
part of
to
your
you for the
journey.
Kalinago Chief, you put yourself forward for other things. So, in terms of that voice, did something happen that told Annette that I have to try to represent my Kalinago people?
Yeah, so that's what I'm telling you. So when I had that conversation with the PS, and she said, "No, Annette, I cannot give you the authority. I cannot give you the permission." And when I had to discuss with the young ladies, hey, I know you were looking forward to having some experience at the hospital, but we cannot have it anymore. Therefore, we will just have to work with what we get. You will just have to go to the infirmary. You will just have to go to Agape and get the experience there and do your best, And they were really disappointed. But I just saw that, well, at the time I was with Claudius, who was deep into politics as well. He was a representative for the United Workers' Party. And then I just felt that was one of the reasons why I wasn't being granted the opportunity to allow these women in. And I just thought it was so unfair, to punish people for what I believe or my family's political affiliation. So I just thought that I wanted to do something different. But even before that, I started, there were incidences at the hospital that I really didn't like. And I started writing articles, reaching out to the nurses. For example, I can remember clearly, there was a time when Mr. Deceased Patrick John was hospitalized. And I worked on the IMRE ward. I was one of the senior nurses there at the time. And the ward was so filled. It was filled, but he was a premier. And what I noticed was that he was placed in the corridor. Well, they had corridors at the time. So you had the sides with the beds, but if the ward is filled, you would place beds in the middle. And he was placed in the middle of the corridor. There was absolutely no privacy. And he was using Pampers and all these things. And I was like, you don't do that to people, especially to someone who has contributed so much to Dominica. And I went to the ward sister at the time. I had a conversation with her. And then they were like, oh, there's nothing they can do. Because I'm saying the hospital has private rooms. So if the ward is filled, you can at least give this man an opportunity to stay in a private room. Even if his family may not be able to pay for it, I think he has done enough to deserve a private room.
Right.
And, so these are little situations where it just got to me and I had to say something about it. And I can remember clearly one of the sisters at the time said, Annette, there's nothing you can do. Do you want me to lose my bread? And I was like, what? What are you talking about? And I realized that this was the exact sentiments of people across the healthcare sector, people in various sectors. They were just afraid to speak out, afraid to stand up for something that's right, so
but this
I started
lady
writing
from the Kalinago
articles
territory
and
was not
speaking
afraid.
up.
No, I was
Sorry,
saying
I
this
didn't
petite lady from the Kalinago territory was not afraid to bring these issues,
Not at all, not at all.
They started the brave voice of the Kalinago Chief. So, so those situations came about and you decided to speak about it. And then, of course, you entered into the realm of politics. You put up yourself as a candidate. Again, all trying to continue that voice. I'm not guessing, but I'm figuring that's what it was about, right?
Yes.
So you've had a journey on it from Seneca Primary to St. Andrews to nursing school to clinical instructor to senator. What was your experience like as a senator? Just overall, quickly.
Wow, this was one I didn't enjoy too much. But I tried to make good use of the opportunity. For me, the positive about it is it helped me to, I would say, polish my voice, be able to give a little more representation to my people because our parliamentary representative wasn't doing a good job. And I really got the support of the people. Before I go to parliament, I would interact with them, find out the issues, what is it they would want me to talk about, some of the pressing things that they would like to see addressed, and that perhaps if I speak about it, the other side would maybe try to address it. So that gave me the strength to go to parliament and to represent them. But the behavior in parliament wasn't one that I enjoyed too much. But I had to do it, so I just went ahead with it.
But you were always doing your homework, as you said. You would go in the territory in the various hamlets and you'd find out, what the challenges that the people were facing.
Yes.
So you would represent them well when you get to parliament.
Which is important.
And that's important.
Because at the end of the day, you're representing the people and not the position that you hold. It's not all about you. It's about the people and how you can try to empower their lives, and improve their livelihoods.
So one of the things you mentioned, Anette, was that in the beginning, of course, back then when you were, going to Seneca Primary, you had the water, you had to be walking to school and, all the rest of it. Have you seen that improvement now in the Kalinago territory?
Yes, we have had improvements with water and electricity and access to vehicles and transportation. And now with the new road project, we'll have better roads, of course. What I'm hoping to see though is the feeder roads, like there are homes that are way off road. We would like them completed because you have elderlies living in these areas. When they're ill, it's very difficult for them to walk through the tracks to come down to the main road. So we still have a lot of work to do, but there have been quite a bit of improvements along the years from where we have been to now.
What is your take on women in politics?
Well, I would encourage any woman to get into politics
Say it again,
because
say it again.
women,
You would not?
I will
Oh.
definitely.
Oh.
Yeah, and I believe it's not only empowering, but it's something that the community will need because women tend to be more caring, more objective in what they do, and tend to be a little more committed. They stick to their plans and they stick to their goals and they get it done. And with more women on board, then the issues we're having with inequalities in our communities, these things can be addressed. Women will be able to advocate for the problems that we're going through and address some of the issues that we're having. For example, currently, general respect for women, abuse, domestic violence is still a great issue in the territory. Across Dominica on a whole, because we've had several murders, women that were murdered through domestic violence. So when you have women in this position, they will always try to ensure that these issues are addressed and that, the incidents will be reduced over the years, either through preventative measures or through direct implementations of programs.
Okay. Nigel, are we ready to go on to the preparation for the elections for the chief?
Oh yes. Because we've
It's not the
taken
first
journey
time,
from-
obviously. It's not the first time because you contested the last time and I think you would have lost by 3 votes.
3 votes,
Okay,
yes.
so Nigel, are we ready to go there?
Yes, because
Okay.
we've taken her from Seneca Primary all the way to Senator and now Kalinago Chief. So tell us a little bit about that current did you try a different approach this time for the campaign to be Kalinago Chief since you had lost so narrowly the last time?
But even stick a pin there, Chief, because I want to ask another question even before we go to that. How do you handle criticism? Of course, you're in politics. You're a woman. It's not an easy field to go on. How do you handle criticisms, level at you in particular?
When someone criticizes me, I listen to what they have to say. I listen to the critique and then I analyze it. If it's true, I will try to improve on my weaknesses. And if it's not true, oftentimes I try to meet the individual and say, hey, what you said is not true. That's the way I operate.
Okay, so nothing that was said about you on any forum, you move on. You don't let
I
it
move on. I don't
keep
take
you
it too
back.
seriously, particularly during my campaign. Especially during this campaign, I just try to ignore all the negatives. Just set it aside, let people talk. There were a few times when I had to meet some of the candidates and had a conversation with them and said, what you're saying is not true. Can you try to stop it? Can you stop it, please? Some of them listened, some of them did not. But at the end of the day, I knew I did what I had to do. I had a conversation with them. And if they choose to continue, I just ignored.
I had to ask this because I want your answer as well to empower women, or the women who has political aspirations as well. Not just political aspirations, but other women, who want to do something grand, on a national level. So I just want to hear how you respond to this so it would help, empower other women. Yes,
Nice.
Nigel. So you were asking, Nigel?
No, just asking in terms of the difference between what you did this time around to gain your victory as compared to the last time.
Tell us.
Yes. So when I got into politics, there were still doubts as to what I can do and who is Anette Sanford as a human being or as an individual within the community. And during the years when I lost the elections, I used that opportunity to build myself. And when I say build myself, I'm talking about my spiritual life. So I would say I have a very sound spiritual life. My family, we have a strong foundation on Christ. I believe without him, we are nothing. Without him, we cannot achieve goals. So that for me is key. Secondly, my professional life, being able to do my job well, get good appraisals, and also being able to do projects within the community, ensure that individuals are able to see what I can do, whether I can manage very well, whether I am good with finances and all of that. So I was able to set a track record. Additionally, I was able to represent, during Parliament. So I used that opportunity in Parliament to show them, hey, I can represent you. In spite of the critiques, in spite of the jabs from the other side, I will stand for you. I will definitely voice your concern. I will not be afraid. And that gave the people the confidence. Closer to the campaign itself, my campaign was very organized this time. I had a team of people who were just so committed. They went out of their way to try to be there, even like late evenings, 2 o'clock in the morning. Cecilia was with me recently, getting things organized. So I had a very committed team in this campaign. We had clear goals, we had clear objectives, we had clear targets, and we ensured that we had the finances to be able to run the campaign. So having campaign finance, having a committed team, and having proper messaging was very good, because throughout this campaign, people were like, Anette, you went up for the United Workers' Party. The government isn't going to work with you. You're not going to work with the government. You all are going to be fighting each other. And to me, even throughout my the work that I've done in the community, I've tried to demonstrate that, yes, I can work with the government. So some of the projects that I've done with agriculture, the apiculture project that we did with the farmers in the territory, we engaged the Ministry of Agriculture. We ensured that they were involved. And not only involved, but we were able to get good feedback. With the project we had with the women, we engaged the Bureau of Gender Affairs, and we were able to have them do trainings. So it showed that, hey, yes, you're saying Anette cannot work with the government, and the government is not the Prime Minister, Mr. Roosevelt's carrot, but the government is a team of people who's working on behalf of the people. So I was able to demonstrate that I can work with the various ministries. And I think that gave me leverage over the other candidates. My background, my strong foundation, having a strong family, having strong family support, having a very good team, good messaging, clear goals, having the finances to be able to back up my campaign.
Nice. It sounds like you had a well-oiled machine ready to go for this time around.
Yes.
When you were declared as the winner and you became the first woman to be Kalinago Chief, what did that feel like, and what has been the kind of response since?
Wow, it was really I would say a breath of fresh air, because having lost for quite a while, and I'm talking about losing from my husband's side to even my side, because we've been trying to represent the people for so long, that getting this victory was something new, something refreshing, and it felt really good. It was just a delightful moment, to see so many people celebrating with us, and so many people happy for us, and so many people supporting, and not just winning, but winning by a landslide. That means having the most votes for the entire Kalinago Chief competitions for decades. I think that in itself is a great victory for me.
But at what point did you see this? At what point did you see this coming, though? Throughout the election, the race for the chief, was it early? I know you said you did a lot, and you partnered with a lot of organizations and governmental departments as well. But at what time did you? Because I'm looking at the video at the live stream on that night, Nigel, and I'm seeing like so many people just surrounding her and just with her. So I want to get a feel from her as to what stage in the election race did you realize, yes, I'm going to win this really big? Well,
to be honest, I was positive from the time I started the campaign. because initially I was a little reluctant about it, but people were coming to my homes, and I remember one particular person, Mr. Peter Sanford, who has supported the Labour Party for quite a number of years, but he's also from my community, and we have great respect for each other. He and a few other persons came home and he said, Annette, what are you doing? We're willing to stand with you, what are you doing? And can you think about it? And I said, yes, I'm going to think about it. But from that time, I knew that if I had to get into any form of politics, I would have had some kind of leverage over the other candidates because of my work. So as soon as I launched my campaign and I started doing my groundwork, the response through example in Bataka, Edith Dorset is one of my team members. She has done quite a bit of work for me. Edith, if you're listening, I hope you're doing well.
I like that.
Edith was like my campaign manager. She was just on top of the game. She went out and she said, after I did my groundwork, you are going to win this time. And then, yes, after I followed through and I went and I met the people, I realized that most of them were saying that they're going to be with me, and I knew I was going to win.
Nice. Now, of course, as the Kalinago Chief, you also have the Pal Rep, which is two different things, right? What's the relationship like between Pal Rep and Kalinago Chief? How you guys are working together to ensure the Kalinago territory gets what it's supposed to get?
Well, my relationship with Mr. Cozier Frederick is more on a professional level. Since the last election, he has not really been very close to the family. But if I have to work with him in any professional way, we do that. I mean, we've had interviews together. We have invited me to a few meetings that I've attended. So we work with each other on a professional level. And I would have absolutely no issue having a sit down with him and to chat the way forward, And I'm hoping that he'll be part of the team that I'm going to put together to put together a strategic plan for the territory for the next 5 years. I'm hoping that he will be part of it. But he hasn't really reached out to me on a personal note since the election. I haven't heard from him. I did meet him in Parliament. We shook hands, but that was it. We haven't really had a conversation yet.
Okay. Let us look at some of the... Nigel, you want to ask a question on that same thing?
No, I think we're going in the same direction.
But I was just going to ask about the strategic plan that you mentioned. I'm looking at the time. So I want to see if you can give us an idea as to some of the items on that plan. You may not want to disclose everything, but I'm sure that there are some things that you want to say at this time as far as development of the territory is concerned from where you are.
Yes, so throughout my campaign, I had a plan. Like I said, I'm willing to meet with the professionals of the community, and then we all sit and look at what I have. But I'm sure that there are other persons who have good ideas as well that I'd be willing to take these ideas if we're able to make it work.
Collective approach like that.
But overall for me, it's really finding ways to help our people make more money. That has been one of the greatest challenges of the Kalinago territory because of our land tenureship issue. As you know, we live on a reserve. Our people can't go to a bank with land titles and get access to credit. So we have to find ways to make our people be able to generate more income for their families and their homes. I'm looking at agriculture and farming. Agriculture, farming, fishing. These are my priority areas, and I was really happy to have listened to the budget, and I realized that there are some very good plans and proposals for agriculture and fishing this year in the budget that the the Minister of Finance gave yesterday. But I'm hoping to assist the fisher folks to get equipment that they will need to be able to go out and do more fishing, and help them with financial management so that they could manage a business as well, and give them the support that they need along the way. I will not just perhaps with the council decide to give people finances and leave them there. We want to ensure that we are with them, we support them, we monitor what they do to ensure that they succeed. With farming, we want our farmers to get back to farming. We have a lot of abandoned lands across the territory, and we want our farmers to get more engaged in the farming industry. So we would have to find ways to give them more support, getting fertilizers, We know fertilizer is very expensive now, very costly. People cannot afford it, and you all know the economic situation in the territory. People cannot afford a proper breakfast, so how would they be able to afford a bag of fertilizer maybe every week? So we have to find ways to be able to give them that form of support for their farms, the equipments that they will need. If we can get investors to perhaps have more irrigation systems on the farm to be able to help our farmers water their plants and, grow their crops. Perhaps more greenhouses, if we can get investors to be able to assist us in that regard. And when these crops are grown and we are producing more, then we'd be able to get into processing, get equipments and a structure in place where we can process these products to produce things like plantain flour, potato flour. These are the things that we want to get into. Even the marijuana, I heard them mention about getting to medicine. The Kalinago people were very good with herbal medicine, so I'm hoping that we can maximize on that and get our young people engaged in the production of medicines and herbal remedies from the marijuana to be able to export to the overseas countries. I'm hoping to meet with the French and the French governments and the governments close by to discuss with them how our people can move freely between these islands. As you know, the indigenous people were able to move freely before, but now we are bombarded with visas and passports. And like I said, given our economic situation, some of us cannot even afford that. So we have to find ways to be able to allow better access for people, better markets for people. And I'm hoping that with discussions with these other governments, they would allow us some at least free movement within these countries, or at least help us get market for our produce here from the Kalinago territory, from our Kalinago farmers. Okay. Or perhaps an investor that will be willing to give us a boat, sure. To be able to transport our foods to the other islands. These are the things that I'm looking at.
Okay. I want to ask a question as you're looking at these things. Earlier on when we started the program, of course, we had a little back and forth, Nigel and myself, in Dominica Corner, we call it the Kalinago language. And of course, language is the primary means of perpetuating culture. Mm-hmm. In terms of the language in the Kalinago territory, do you think that a lot more needs to be done? Are you all losing the Kalinago language in terms of people conversing in Kalinago language? And what would you do if yes?
Yes, definitely. I believe that we have already started reviving the language, but it needs to be done on a local level. I know we are on DBS, yes. It's very good that people are getting to know that our language still exists, but we need to reach to the younger people at the schools. So I'm hoping to work with the principals, the various schools, the cultural leaders to see how we can get them engaged, teach our children from small so they grow up having these words in their memory, being able to use them when people come, when we have visitors, being able to engage in these kinds of conversations. So that is definitely something also on the agenda, to be able to revive our indigenous language. And not only during Kalinago Week, but throughout the year, have it as something that we can teach our children on a regular basis, just like we teach them French or Spanish.
Mm-hmm. Nigel, what is happening in the book? Are we still busy on the book?
It is too busy.
Yes, it's busy.
This book is really, I can't keep track right now, but the book is really, 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 really busy. Mm-hmm. Maslin says the success of any community is in the strength of its leaders, unifying for the progress of the community. Who is this one now? Jokalun Zouk. Oh, okay. Zouk Master says, of course, one thing, Chief, you talk very well, educated, continue, go to higher heights. Please work with your people and everyone else to make sure it happens. Is this? Viva Almo says, cultivate the land some more. Jennifer Coffey says, congratulations, my girl, blessed up always. Nisha Loda, yet still something about the president. Oh, they want you to find out your time when you decide to go for president. I think we passed that part of the journey, but you can mention that too. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about. Unity is key. Or Burton, congratulations, Chief. Blessed Saturday morning. Obutu Anette Sanford, intelligent and courageous Kalinago woman. Frank and Roll, congratulations, my sister. Keep it up. was this now? Marvelyn Shelford. How about your politics? Something? Do you think that helped you to win? I think she mentioned that. Great response. And it is a powerful Kalinago woman. So yes, congratulations. And of course, a few other questions in between there.
I'm looking at a question. Well, something from Leoma Joseph. So she's the one who said about she's doing her household chores and she loves our program, something like that, right?
Oh, okay.
She said, Nigel, hope you leave this program knowing that it is our program. You can never end. You can never and will be left out. You and I were not so great. Okay, I should not say that. We great to Nigel. No, but thank you. I mean, as we say, the book is very busy. It's almost that time to end. So thank you, Leoma.
Very busy. That's expected. The book is very, very busy, and that's expected. Relationship with the past Kalinago Chief, how is that going? You guys are getting together and handing over the baton nicely?
Well, he hasn't reached out to me yet, but we've had a pretty good relationship, though. I remember the first time I stood up in Parliament and, challenged what he did. But following that, we've been able to work very well throughout the community. He has been to almost all of my events that I've had in terms of the projects that we've been doing. And he has been very, very supportive, sometimes allowing us to use the council space, to have our sessions. So I think that he will reach out eventually. What they're doing now is having the council elections, preparing for the council elections. So I guess after that, we will meet with each other and then officially hand over everything.
When is your is it called installation, or when will that inauguration? When is that going to be? Any idea?
About the 22nd of August.
Okay.
I wanted you to articulate for us as well, what is going to really make this work? I mean, obviously throughout your discussion at first, I know the answer, but I want you to tell us, clearly, what is going to make your tenure work? Is it a collective responsibility, not just of the Kalinago people, but, the entire island? What for you is the driving force, behind making this work? And bringing more development to the territory? How do you envisage that this can be achieved?
Well, I know that the Kalinago Council gets a subvention from government, but we all know that it's not enough. So working with the professionals, like I said before, harnessing their talents, harnessing some of the ideas that they have, getting the support to be able to meet the objectives that we would put in place. And then writing proposals to governments outside of Dominica, also networking with the various officials across the island based on the projects that we're doing and getting their support. I believe this will definitely help us to succeed in our mission to develop the Kalinago territory. And I'm hoping that they will give me the support. I'm hoping that the Prime Minister and the other officials will see that my goal and my mission is genuine, and it's not to oppose them or not to fight with them, but really to help develop my community. And I'm hoping that they will be willing to give me that support to be able to take the territory from where it is now and develop it into something that we can look back and be happy about it and be pleased to know that the Kalinago people are thriving and that the children are doing well, that they're growing up to be men and women that will not only be respectable, but men and women who will be able to stand on their own, support their families, and get out of poverty.
Do you think, Annette, you mentioned, as we kind of winding down, you mentioned that person that said, quiet thoughts back then when you were in school. Do you think that overall as Dominicans, we've become a lot more respectful and we've been able to appreciate a lot more the Kalinago people?
Generally, I believe that Dominicans on a whole have learned to respect the indigenous people. They give us a lot more credit because we have quite a bit of women and men who have done well for themselves. For example, we have people with a master's degree who hold positions in jobs that are at a level that Kalinago people in the past never held. And these people get the respect from the general public. However, there's still work to be done. And I've had experiences, even with the Attorney General, and then other parliamentarians, there's still a lot of work to be done, but we have moved away from I would say, the raw criticism of the past. Feel like that quiet something has gone, but there's still reservations into allowing us to maybe get into certain jobs, or allowing us to just be who we are. I was talking to one of an owner. I don't want to say who exactly, but he was saying, Annette, there are people. Your people are very talented. They have blessed hands, but because of their ways with alcohol, because they drink a lot, particularly some of the young men, they drink a lot. There are people who will not employ them because of that. So we have to find ways to work on the alcoholism to be able to help your people to get more employment. And there are other people across Dominica who may feel that way.
Let's just take a call. We have had a lot of calls there, but I just wanted you to. Okay, I think we lost that one. I'm sorry about that.
Yes, I do probably.
And I want to ask Nigel. I'm hearing some feedback.
So
I don't know where it's coming from.
You have somebody on the line? No.
No, I'm getting some feedback.
Okay.
I am getting.
So we have Chief Anette Sanford, Kalinago Chief. We have Madam President.
There's an echo coming from
Burton. There's an echo coming through somewhere. You good now? Okay. So I like to talk about relationships because that's what's going to make things happen. Yeah. What's it like with you and Madam President? You had a chance to, of course, be there yesterday when she did the inaugural speech and everything else. Both from the Kalinago territory. You're hoping for some kind of support as well, and to get things working from the both of you, both women from the Kalinago territory.
I am looking forward to working with her.
There's an echo.
I'm hearing myself.
Yes, there's an echo.
Yes.
There's a disturbance. I don't know where it's coming from. I really don't know. I'm trying my best to see how I can find it.
Yeah, I'm hearing an echo.
Yeah, there's a reverberation.
Yeah. We're not sure where that came from all of a sudden.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's after I took the call, but I ended the call, so I don't know.
But we've ended the call, so I don't know. Something happened somewhere. Maybe somebody logged in and there's some issues right there and there. But I guess because of the echo, we might not probably hear the response as well as we wanted to. But try again.
Yes. So I have no issues working with the president. Some people may feel that because I was a nominee as well, I've had my own intentions, but I did explain why I chose the nomination. And I'm looking forward to working with her in whatever way and whatever support she can give. And I accept her congratulatory messages. She hasn't really reached out to me on a personal level. She hasn't called me or messaged me. But I'm looking forward to working with both she and the power rep in the future.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we're coming to an end. The echo is still there, and I have no idea why, Nigel.
Yeah. No idea what's going on.
But I wanted to ask a quick question, though. I wanted to ask a quick question where the Kalinago people are concerned in terms of what I would have heard in the past from Kalinago people themselves, community leaders, that the genuine Kalinago population is depleting. And there are those who feel that a lot of times people come from the outside and, have children with Kalinago people. And that is a concern for some, maybe elders or some leaders in the Kalinago territory. Give us your view on that.
The Kalinago Act outlines the rules for persons having relationships.
There's still this echo, and it's really, I don't want to I don't want to disturb you. I'm not sure if there's something on that should not be on, Nigel. Not on my end.
Yes, I don't know what happened all of a sudden.
Yes. But, anyway, let's see how best we can capture what you're saying.
Yes.
And just apologize, obviously, for the feedback that comes through. Yes, Chief, go ahead.
Yes, so I was saying that the Kalinago Act offers some form of solution to that. The Kalinago Act specifies that men who have indigenous women as partners has to leave the territory and take them to their own place. But the women, the men who are within the territory with women on the outside and bring them in and have children. That is the law as it is. So I believe the former leaders, what they're trying to do is ensure that these laws are in place or are kept. But for me, I don't have any issue per se with who somebody falls in love with or who somebody has a child with. What I know that I will do is definitely encourage our young people to, interact with other indigenous people so that the culture and they can live on and we can continue to revive not only our culture but our identity, the indigenous look and all of that.
All right. Well, Nigel, the time has come, the time has gone.
Yes.
And I really wish
There's
so many things again, I would like to discuss if obviously I can get another forum for us to do that. And we can always invite her next time, obviously. So that is not a problem. But it was really a pleasure, being on with her. I'm not sure what happened at the end. There was some, echo feedback somewhat.
Yes.
It's still there. It's still there. And the producer, one of the producers, Curtis Matthew, came to, tell me that as well.
He also came to see if he could fix it.
Yes, he's one of the producers.
Yes, unfortunately.
But we have come to the end, so.
Yes, but definitely, Chief, we want to thank you so much for connecting with us. We want to thank you for sharing your journey. That's what we do on Connecting the Dots. We hope that you listen on every Saturday and that you have everybody in the Kalinago territory logged on as well. But thank you so much for connecting with us. We appreciate it. Congratulations again on your achievements. Looking forward to hearing great things happening in the Kalinago territory. I know a lot of stuff is going on there, as you've mentioned, great improvement. We want to make sure that can continue. So congratulations and thanks for connecting with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Before I leave, I just want to encourage all the indigenous people who are hearing me today. We will be having a thank you gathering this afternoon from 5 until. So we'll be roasting a pig. We will be having.
You'll be roasting a what?
They're roasting a pig.
Wow. Imagine that.
So we'll be having a little celebration. So come, let's enjoy ourselves. Those of you who have been supporting me, who voted for me, please come and have something to drink, come and have something to eat, come and interact.
How do you say pig in Kalinago, Chief?
I am not sure.
Okay, you're not sure. Nigel, how do you say pig in Creole?
How do you say pig in Creole? Cool, sure.
All right. Okay, but Chief, it was really, a pleasure, linking with you and connecting the dots. That's something we have been doing since 2020. And we always try to bring on people and recognize the achievements of Dominicans, both here and overseas. And I'm very happy that we got a chance to share that time with you. And I wish you all the best. You have a strong head on your shoulder, and that's very good. So you may be petite physique, but you're in terms of your mind and your brain, you're big there. And that would speak wonders for developing the Kalinago territory and by extension Dominica. So all the best to you, Chief.
Thank you. And thanks for having me.
Yes, we'll make it happen again. Nigel, I know there was a time I was trying to get a contingent of people from the Kalinago territory on the program. It was kind of difficult to arrange at the time, but we'll keep our fingers crossed that very soon we can do this. So all the best, listeners. Thanks for joining us on Connecting the Dots. That's it, Nigel. Take care. Take care, Chief.
Take care, my dear. We connect again.
All right.